Spaceboy universe. Welcome to Data Bytes. Here is Spaceboy and Surlana.
Howdy, this is Space Bytes, or Digital Bytes, excuse me. Data Bytes, I'll get it together. You can go ahead and laugh at me, Surlana.
Wow.
If you only knew the pre-production thing that I was going through to do this. So let me get to the facts of what this little bit is about. Data Bytes is basically going to be a little short things where we come on, where maybe we saw something here or we did something here, and we'll just talk about it, and that's it. It's like a one quick thing, and it's, wipe our hands and we're done with it. So, hello, Surlana, how are you?
Hey.
You want to tell everybody what we're going to talk about?
We're going to talk about the movie The Martian. So if you haven't seen it and you want to, or you haven't read it or listened to the audiobook, spoilers ahead, you may want to stop now.
Okay, so we saw The Martian, what was it, about a month ago? Or?
Oh, was it a month ago? Well, it's November, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Did we see it when it came out?
Yeah,
the weekend it came out?
We saw it the weekend it came out, so it was about a month ago.
Wow, I can't believe it was a month ago.
Yeah, time flies, doesn't it? And and what are your initial thoughts about the movie?
Well, this is something you told me about because you listened to the audio book, and I was like, "That's nice, dear." Couldn't care less.
Then I guess I should go ahead and tell my part of the story, and then instead of sounding like a Back to the Future movie where we, the past is the first part and the present is the second part. So basically, a friend of mine where I work at had come up to me and he said, "Hey, Spacey, have you seen or heard this book?"
He did not say Spacey.
Well, I'm just going to say for the sake of argument because, I want people to know I'm Spaceboy. And so anyway, so he comes up to me and says, "Have you read this book? Apparently my son gave it to me, and I had a court case where he had jury duty. And so he took this book with him as to, read and everything. And he said, you think you'd really like this book because it reminds me a lot about you. I guess one part because of the Spaceboy, astronaut thing, and two, because the guy was kind of technical in what he does and everything through the course of the movie. So, I thought, yeah, okay, I'll check it out. So I ended up getting the audiobook, which was great because that killed a lot of time when we went to Contact in the Desert. We drove up there and then drove back. So pretty much listened to half of it that way and half of it back. I can't remember how long. It's at least 10 hours long, the audiobook. Yeah, the audiobook.
Wow.
It's amazing what you can put on an MP3 these days as far as audiobooks and music and all that good stuff.
Is that what it is, an MP3?
So, yeah, it's an MP3,
I've never done one before.
So, I listened to the book, and I'm thinking, hey, Surlana, this is a great book, and you should check it out sometime. I think you'll really like it. And it was about that time when, on our way back, that I find out that they practically have made a movie, and it'll be out in October. And so I was excited until I heard it was Matt Damon that was going to be the lead. But I was actually surprised that he was halfway decent in this movie. It wasn't your, typical, I'm Matt Damon. And so I really...
Please point out the movie where he does that because I need to see that.
Oh, I'll have to show you later. But anyway... I'm sure he's listening right now, and he's going to come to our house and, "Hey, are you in there, Spacey?" So...
Please point out the movie where he does that voice, too.
But, I'm a man of 1,000 voices. So, yeah, he's a quite versatile actor. One minute he's like, "Spacey, are you in there?" Or, it's, "I'm Matt Damon." Anyway, so enough of that part. So that's how I got introduced to it, because I'm somewhat busy, and I am reluctant about reading books. Surlana will tell you I'm not much of a book reader, yeah. But I do listen to audiobooks. I have an Audible, yes, an Audible account. And so I do try to read, I listen to a lot of sci-fi. But anyway, I diverge from what I'm saying. The thing is that this was actually a great movie. It was awesome, and the fact it was not like overly done. I think what I liked about it the most is it really, for me, as the optimistic one of this group, that it was hopeful. And it's a kind of movie you just don't see these days, you know.
Considering he knew his days were numbered. He just tried to survive for as long as he could.
Yeah, he scienced the crap out of that. And I wonder what a Martian potato tastes like.
Probably not that good, because I don't think he could cook it, really.
Well, I think he had that little microwavable thing. I think what my thing would be is, at some point he ran out of condiments like
seasonings
ketchup,
and
so he was just eating taters,
just to stay alive.
Just to stay alive, and then it's going to be spoiled here. So, but you're still going to need to go see this movie. Remember how at the end he's packing up and ready to go, and he's getting cleaned up, and you see how much weight he's lost.
Oh yeah, he looked bad.
He looked really bad.
He looked rough.
And but I just really dig this movie, and of course, in the course of the movie, I just did a replacement of Matt Damon and put me as Watley as far as the space guy going into space.
Well, of course, because that's how you think.
Mm-hmm. But that's how I enjoyed the movie. Any other parts in that?
Like I said, you had read this and told me about it, and I'm like, oh, that's nice, dear. At least you're engaging in some kind of literature.
Now, people before you go, but you know, most people don't know that the Texans have a way of putting you down. If you ever come across somebody that tells you, well, bless your heart, or that's nice, dear, then you know that they're like hitting you in the face and smile at the same time. But please continue.
Well, I didn't think I was doing that. I was just like getting on with my day. So, as usual, when you want to see a movie that I could not be less interested in, the deal is you take me, but you buy me everything. You know, popcorn, icy, candy, sometimes the nacho things, just for the fact that I have to go.
Don't I normally buy you all those goodies when we go?
Well, things like we go to, like, that I drag you to, like Riff Tracks Live, I don't expect you necessarily to do that, but then I'll smuggle stuff in. So I went, you know, just to humor you and get the free stuff, and it turned out to be a very enjoyable time. And like you say, what I enjoyed about it is there was none of this hokey emotional crap you see in other sci-fi movies, like that one about the asteroid where they had to go blow up the asteroid that had Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
It's like, I got to get back home because
that's exactly what I'm talking about.
My wife, my kid, you know, like that's the only thing they're living for. I'm like,
but who did that movie?
I don't know, because I didn't see it.
It was a Michael Bay movie.
Oh, well.
So that explains, if it doesn't have explosions and all that, then it's not a Michael Bay movie.
The author of the book pointed out, why do you have to live to want to survive to live for something? Why can't the fact that you just want to live be enough? So it was more of a man versus nature, or man versus a nature we've never encountered before. That's what I liked about it. It was just, as I've said before in other webcasts we've done, I like stories, good stories. They don't have to be real or not. They don't have to be very plausible or not for me to enjoy them. But this was plausible. It felt real, and I enjoyed it.
Tell me, you read a little bit about how he actually created the story. You want to touch upon that?
I watched an interview with Adam Savage interviewed the writer, Peter. Is it Peter Weir?
I believe, yes.
Yeah. And, of course, Savage is a huge fanboy and nerd, and he was just fanboying all over the author.
Actually, correction, it's Andy.
Andy Weir.
Yes.
I don't know where I get Peter from. He was fanboying all over him and wanted to know why and how he wrote this book. And Andy said, well, as a hobby, I just like plotting trajectories, you know, of spacecraft that don't exist, or, you know, satellites and whatnot. That he does this in his spare time, and he is by trade, or he was by trade, a computer programmer. So he knew how to do this, how to write a program that would make all these calculations for him. Mm-hmm. And part of that is what he did for the book, how to get a craft around the Earth to come back in a trajectory to hook up with Mars, drop something off, and come back.
So I guess in this movie, Danny Glover's character is kind of like him.
Danny Glover was in that?
I mean, not Danny Glover. Oh, I guess it's only fair since you said Peter Weir. Glover,
Donald
Glover. Danny. Anyway, so I guess his character was based on, I guess, loosely maybe him, because he does the same thing. He figures out the project.
The steely-eyed missile man.
Yes. So anyway, continue. I'm sorry.
No, it was a long interview, and I've since seen him where the author, Andy, got invited to go speak to a room full of NASA scientists, because, they invited him. And what Adam Savage asked, and all these other people, and anybody that interviewed Andy Weir, they said, who did you know in NASA? Like, which astronauts did you talk to get all this information that you put in the book and kind of made it into the movie? And he said, I didn't know anybody. I just extrapolated from my own research. He says, I literally just pulled up Google and just started asking questions in the browser. And he says, he goes, but the way that the politics of the inner workings of NASA, when they're, trying to figure out what's happened and how they interact with each other, it's like, I just took how people act, at the office where I would do my computer programming and just put it in that setting, because everybody kind of is the same,
I think in my movie I would be more like Lord of the Flies kind of situation.
Oh, God. Kill the pig, drink its blood.
But final thoughts on that? Is it a?
It's an enjoyable movie. I don't know anything about taking children to that, because I don't have children. There is some swearing, but it's fully justified. I love the use of the music in the movie, because it was so strange.
Disco.
That's sort of the joke of, that's all he's got to listen to, because one of his former crewmates left a computer behind that had nothing but like disco music from the 70s.
And 70s sitcom, 70s / maybe 80s.
Yeah, and that was my favorite thing. He says, no, I will not turn the beat around.
But yeah, overall, I'm going to give it a thumbs up on this one, because
worth going to see, or if you can't, if you're not going to be able to catch it, wait till you can rent it.
It's definitely rentable. I mean,
I know you'll be buying it.
I probably will be buying it.
I'd watch it again.
Yeah, so that should tell you that it's that good. So you should definitely listen to this Spaceman and get you some Martian action when it comes out on digital or Blu-ray or whatever your format that you do. So, but that I guess is it, because like I said, these are digital.
You don't know what they are, do you?
I don't know what I'm doing. Matt Damon. Yeah, this is...
And I don't want to make you look bad, but his name is Matt Damon.
Thank you very much. I'm just totally brain farted all,
I'm sorry.
So
Love you.
Yes, you too, Snookums. So this has been Data Bytes, which is short little segments of the usual Spaceboy universe. And join us on Saturdays at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time when we do a full show. So on that note, we'll see you then. Bye.
This has been Spaceboy Universe Podcast, produced by Spaceboy and Surlana. Check out Spaceboy on the internet at spaceboymusic.com.